From the moment we are born, we are taught to strive, to push, to control. Success is seen as the prize of effort, identity as the product of construction, happiness as something to be seized. In this world, letting go can seem like failure. But Alan Watts, with his timeless clarity, offered another view. Life is like water. It flows naturally when you let it. To live fully, he argued, we must surrender not in defeat, but in trust. Imagine struggling against a river's current. Your muscles ache, your chest tightens, your mind panics. You fight to stay afloat, but the river doesn't care. It moves according to its nature. Only when you stop resisting and trust the flow do you find that the river carries you, not to destruction, but to unexpected shores. We often believe that if we work hard enough, we can command life to obey us. We cling to schedules, chase promotions, plan every step, trying to guarantee security. But life, like water, is dynamic, shifting beyond our calculations. The harder we cling, the more exhausted we become. A person fighting the river eventually drowns in their own panic. But a person who floats, who surrenders, finds themselves guided. Surrender doesn't mean apathy. It means wisdom. It recognizes that not everything needs to be pushed. Some things simply need to be trusted. Control is a seductive illusion. We plan meticulously. We set rigid goals. We build structures around our lives, believing that, with enough effort, we can prevent chaos. And yet, life continues to move according to its own rhythms. Loved ones leave, careers change, bodies age, dreams evolve. The tighter we cling, the more brittle we become. Like a tree fighting the wind, we risk snapping where we could have bent. Watts teaches that surrender is not weakness, but alignment with reality itself. Life is change. Life is movement. Life is water. Think about a man who spent decades working toward a single promotion, sacrificing health, relationships, and joy. When the company collapsed, he faced not only loss of job, but the collapse of his entire identity. Or a woman who tried to script every detail of her wedding, only to be undone by a sudden storm, and later laughed, realizing the best moments were the ones she hadn't planned. Control is fragile armor. It gives the illusion of safety, but leaves us brittle when the inevitable tides of change arrive. True resilience isn't in rigidity, it's in flexibility. It's in the willingness to adapt, to bow without breaking, to say yes to life even when it doesn't follow our script. Those who learn to flow with life are the ones who thrive, even in uncertainty. Water adapts to every shape it encounters. It doesn't resist the rock. It flows around it. It doesn't argue with the cliff. It tumbles freely down. It is humble enough to occupy the lowest places, yet powerful enough to carve canyons over time. To surrender is to move like water. To trust that life, with all its uncertainty, is wiser than our plans. To recognize that clinging to rigid ideas of who we should be, or how things must go, only leads to suffering. A person clinging to outdated dreams feels trapped. A person open to new currents discovers pathways they could never have designed. Water teaches patience. It doesn't rush to erode the mountain. It wears it down with steady persistence. Similarly, when we surrender, we don't give up our desires. We simply trust the timing. Water doesn't resent obstacles. It uses them creatively. A stream blocked by a boulder doesn't despair. It finds another way. Likewise, life often reroutes us toward destinations far richer than our original plans. A man who was rejected from his dream school went on to discover a passion for travel he never would have found otherwise. A woman denied her perfect relationship discovered a deeper love with someone unexpected. Like water, we are invited to trust the larger intelligence at work, the river beneath the river. If you're drawn to exploring how the search itself can become the obstacle, watch our video, Why You'll Never Find Yourself. It's a deeper reflection on trusting the river of life and remembering who you are beyond striving. Much of what we cling to isn't real. Our identities, the successful one, the good person, the strong one, are performances we learn to survive and be accepted. But these roles, if clung to too tightly, become prisons. Letting go means loosening the grip on the false self. It means daring to exist without the constant need to prove, to defend, to control how others see us. It means trusting that who we are without the mask is enough. We build identities like armor. A woman who is always the responsible one may fear letting others down so much that she forgets her own needs. A man who prides himself on being the stoic one may bury emotions that desperately seek healing. But identities are tools, not truths. When we cling to them, we shrink. We confine ourselves to a narrow script. True surrender means saying, I am more than any label. I am more than success, failure, beauty, intellect. I am the awareness beneath it all. A man once shared that only after losing his prestigious title did he rediscover the joy of simple friendships. A woman realized that her value wasn't tied to being perfect when she allowed herself to be vulnerable, and found she was loved, not despite her flaws, but because of her realness. Consider Emma, who spent years in a corporate job that drained her spirit. She clung to it because it made sense and looked good. Only once a company downsized did she let go, and terrified, opened a small art studio. It didn't make her rich, but it filled her life with breath. Or James, whose marriage ended despite his every effort to fix it. For months he fought the ending, lost in blame and regret. Only when he surrendered to the grief did he find a deeper self beneath the heartbreak, a self capable of loving again. Each of them learned that surrender is not resignation, it's the gateway to a deeper authenticity. Stories of surrender are everywhere. A musician who abandoned his dreams of fame and found joy playing for local communities. A writer who gave up chasing bestseller lists and found deeper meaning writing letters to loved ones. Surrender doesn't mean abandoning dreams. It means releasing the demand that dreams unfold exactly as we dictate. It means opening space for life to surprise us. When we surrender, life often responds in kind. New doors open, new friendships form, hidden gifts emerge. In letting go, we don't lose ourselves, we uncover ourselves. In Taoism, which Watts so often drew from, there is a concept called Wu Wei, action without force. This doesn't mean passivity. It means moving with life rather than against it. A surfer doesn't command the wave. He reads it, feels it, and rides it. A musician doesn't force the melody. She lets it emerge through her. In the same way, true living arises not from controlling life, but dancing with it. When we let go, we don't become passive. We become responsive, agile, alive. Think of a dancer improvising with a partner. He doesn't memorize every step. He listens, responds, adjusts in the moment. True artistry flows from presence, not control. A businesswoman once shared that her best ideas came not during strategy meetings, but while gardening. when she stopped forcing outcomes and allowed inspiration to arise naturally. Effortless effort feels like grace. It's not without movement. It's movement without struggle. It's working with the grain of life, not against it. Letting go is hardest when fear whispers that surrender means collapse. What if I fail? What if I'm rejected? What if I lose everything? Watts invites us to look deeper. The self that clings is the self that fears annihilation. But when we let go, what dissolves is not our being. It's the rigid shell that kept us from truly living. Fear will visit. That's natural. But surrender is not the absence of fear. It's moving forward despite it, trusting that life itself holds us even when we cannot see the path. A young man once feared leaving his stable but soul-crushing job. When he finally did, the fear didn't disappear overnight, but he discovered resources inside himself he never knew he had. Another woman was terrified to end a long, toxic friendship, but in that empty space, new, healthier connections blossomed. Fear often guards the doorway to our deeper life. Surrender means walking through, trembling but trusting, until we realize the monsters we feared were illusions all along. How can we learn to let go? Pause before reacting. When tension rises, breathe. Notice the urge to control. Choose trust over force. Trust small movements. Surrender doesn't require grand gestures. It begins in tiny ways. Letting a conversation unfold, allowing silence, saying, "I don't know." Embrace uncertainty. Practice sitting with the unknown, noticing the mind's panic, and staying open anyway. Flow with endings. When something ends, a season, a relationship, a dream, honor it, grieve it, but don't cling. Endings are part of the river's flow. Follow aliveness. Where do you feel a spark, even if it terrifies you? Follow that. It's life calling you into deeper trust. Start small. Practice letting a weekend unfold without plans. Trust someone else to lead. Sit silently in discomfort without rushing to fix it. Learn to recognize where tightness lives in your body. Breathe into it. Meet your need to control with tenderness, not judgment. Life invites us to surrender 1,000 times a day. In traffic jams, in miscommunications, in lost plans. Each moment of letting go becomes a vote for freedom. When we let go, something astonishing happens. We begin to feel lighter, freer. Possibilities we couldn't imagine while clinging begin to appear. Life stops being an opponent and becomes a dance partner. Letting go doesn't guarantee ease. Storms will come, loss will visit, but surrender allows us to meet life with grace rather than resistance. We begin to understand. We were never meant to control the river. We were meant to move with it. There is strength in flexibility. A bamboo bends with the wind, yet survives storms that topple mighty oaks. Freedom isn't the absence of difficulty. It's the ability to flow with difficulty without losing your center. When we surrender, we discover an unexpected intimacy with life, a participation, a belonging that striving can never produce. Alan Watts said, "Muddy water is best cleared by leaving it alone." In trying to force clarity, we only stir up more confusion. In surrendering, we allow life to settle into its own wisdom. Letting go is not a single moment. It's a practice, a trust we build over time. It's the decision, again and again, to soften rather than harden, to open rather than cling, to flow rather than fight. Let go or be dragged. The river of life is moving, beautiful, wild, and free. Your choice is not whether it moves. Your choice is whether you move with it. And when you do, you might just find yourself carried into a life more extraordinary than anything you could have controlled. Because in the art of surrender, we find not the end of our journey, but its true beginning. If this message resonated with you, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to The Art of Being. We share more reflections on philosophy, self-awareness, and living with presence. Your journey inward is just beginning.